I'm Darlene Carman. Welcome to the show. William Helzer and Shai Bardeen are students who are on a mission to encourage people to take a little time out on their travels to feed the hungry. They are stirring action and support from their website, travelersfightinghunger.com. Shai can't be here with us today, so William will cover for her. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Darlene. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, you and Shai are family friends, and you go to different schools. So tell us, what school are you going to, and are you finding any career direction that you're settling on right now?
So I'm currently a rising senior at Bellarmine College Preparatory in San Jose. And while I haven't settled exactly on a career direction, I'm passionate about foreign policy, in particular, particularly events involving nuclear security. And I hope to be able to include that into a future career direction.
Sounds good. Sounds exciting. Well, I know you have a lot of interests. I think music's another one of your interests, right?
It is,
You
yes.
have a lot of interests. But one thing that you and Shai have in common is travel. So why do you think travel is so important?
I think travel is really important for three reasons. Primarily, I think travel is crucial in developing one's sense of as a global oneness that we have in the world between groups of people from distant places, and that we all really have the same basic needs. We love our families, we seek food and shelter and warmth.
Yeah.
I think secondly it's important because it allows one to learn from and appreciate various cultures and peoples around the world and be able to adopt those traditions in our own lives. And finally, I think probably most importantly, one can return from their travels with the souvenir of a broader perspective. I think that's really crucial in developing one's perspectives as a person, and it makes travel essential to a good life.
What about age? Do you think it's important for people to start young as they can when they travel, or wait until they retire?
I really think that anybody can gain a lot of wonderful experience from their travel adventures, regardless of their age or regardless of their background. And I think that each of us are unique in our ability to take out of our own unique perspectives from all of our travels. And I think that's one of the things that makes travel such a beautiful experience for everybody who has the opportunity to do it.
But I think starting young is good if you can, even family vacations and so forth like that, just little trips here and there that get bigger and bigger and bigger. But I think it's easier. Do you think it's easier when you're younger to start getting this type of experience?
Well, certainly. I think it's good to be able to have the experience of traveling and to understand at a young age the various cultures and peoples around the world, and to be able to learn from them and their experiences. So I think that really, whether you're starting young, which is always great, or if you haven't had time and you're just starting now, it's always great to start to broaden your horizons.
Yeah. Now, from your experiences on travel, how has that helped you to shape your outlook on world hunger?
That's a really important question. And I feel like that world hunger is prevalent throughout the world, and that's something that I've seen throughout my travels. Particularly when I travel on the East Coast and in big cities across the world with my family. I've noticed that in cities such as Boston and in New York and Washington, D.C., there's this large disparity between those who are really wealthy and those who are really poor. You even see that in our own community, in the sense that you can be walking down the street and there could be really nice houses and somebody there is homeless and hungry and struggling to get through. And in addition to that, my family has had a tradition since I was little traveling, and that being that we'd always try to give food to people who were needing of it on the street. And this is something that I think has been really impactful in shaping my views on world hunger through traveling. And it's allowed me to interact with all of these people, as I said, with the importance of travel, in fostering a community for myself of being a citizen of the world.
So you've traveled a lot with your family then?
I have, yes. That's been something that I really cherish.
So you did start, you're still young, but you started even younger.
Much younger, yes. I've been traveling with my family for many years now. It's been great.
Was there ever a crowning moment for you when you said to yourself, I've got to do something. I have to help people?
Definitely. I remember I was in New York and I had the opportunity to play at Carnegie Hall as part of a youth honors performance group. And right outside Carnegie Hall, which is such an esteemed concert hall, it's world-renowned, there's people right outside who are struggling to get by, who are homeless and living on the streets, and who are hungry. And I noticed this such strong discrepancy that while I was able to go inside and make music with people who I'm still friends with today,
Oh,
uh, there were people who didn't have that opportunity, didn't have that experience. And I thought that combined with a lot of the important lessons that my family has taught me growing up, and that I've been able to get going to a school like Bellarmine, really culminated in an attention that I had in which I wanted to make a difference in the world.
so that was the time for you.
Hmm.
Shai, her crowning moment, you might say,
Hmm.
was when she traveled to Africa.
Yes.
So these things kind of came together, and from that, the outcome was to form Travelers Fighting Hunger.
Hmm.
So, what is your mission?
So Travelers Fighting Hunger is a student-run organization, and our goal is for each traveler to devote 15 minutes of their next travel journey to helping those who are hungry. And while 15 minutes may not seem like a lot, we always like to make people realize that if 1,000 people help, 15,000 minutes are being devoted to helping the hungry. And if 1,000,000 people help, that's 15 million people helping the hungry. And eventually, if everybody decides just to devote 15 minutes of their next adventure to helping those who are hungry, we can equate that to somebody spending their entire lifetime helping the hungry. And this is something really powerful.
Mm. So, what else do you have in your mission? I know you have more.
We do, yes. Our mission also includes education. We really think that it's important to help have the community acknowledge a lot of the problems that exist in our world today with world hunger, and at the same time to spread our mission throughout the Bay Area and to children around the world. So we think that educating today's youth is really important to fostering change in our world in the future.
And are you getting any feedback so far? This is very new. And we'll find
Mm-hmm.
out how new, I think, a little bit later, perhaps, as we look at the pictures. But this is new.
It is, yes.
I
We've
mean,
been really
this
happy.
year, right?
It is, yes. We started earlier this school year, so it was really great.
Yeah. And I actually watched your website change, and that's why I think it's important for people to check the website, because it just seems to grow and expand just monthly.
Yes, online at travelersfightinghunger.com, we have lots of great material related that's updated really continually about ways in which you can help the hungry, and at the same time, some exciting new things that we're working on.
Well, we have some pictures of your efforts,
Oh, that's great.
and I think it would be great to see some of these pictures, and then also you can kind of talk about them as we go through them.
That would be great. So one of our many supporters at Travelers Fighting Hunger took the time to travel to a village in Peru. And during this time, she had the opportunity to work with hungry school children in a community and help to educate them as to problems that are existing today in terms of world hunger, and to be able to help them at the same time to both learn in their community. And in addition, she remarked that she was able to gain lots of wonderful new insights because of her experiences there. And this is exactly what we would like to have with all people who travel, who are able to both give back to their community, at the same time take something from that experience that has made her change her outlook on the world when since she's returned. So moving on, next. We had another student who has inspired another part of Travelers Fighting Hunger, in which she went into her closets, and she's currently a varsity athlete, and she realized she had lots of old sports jerseys. So she decided on a trip to Mexico, she would go to a hungry and impoverished community and go donate some of her old sports equipment. And this was great because it allowed the students in this community both to continue their love of sports. They're playing a sport here that's a mixture of soccer and baseball. And at the same time, they were able to have more money to buy food in their community, which is really helpful to further in their community. So moving on to our next example, the Summit Square Initiative was really something powerful that Travelers Fighting Hunger had the ability to be a part of this year. And we were really excited about that. This is a group of college students who came together to work on Travelers Fighting Hunger related initiatives. And it's great to see support for similar organizations throughout the Bay Area and throughout the nation. And this was really a powerful moment in which we were able to see how prevalent our idea is and motivations for what we're doing throughout the youth community. Yeah. So next. We also have lots of people who are supporters of Travelers Fighting Hunger who are eager to make a difference in the medical community. Dr. Hardwin and Tamara Mead are examples of these wonderful people. On a trip to Juarez, Mexico, the Meads had the opportunity to work in a hungry and impoverished community, and in addition to working to help prepare and make food for these peoples, they had the option to go into a clinic, and Dr. Hardwin had the opportunity to work in this community. He also is leading a group to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia in the future, and we're really excited to hear how that works out.
Yeah. Next.
So next, one of the other things that we think is really powerful is helping out in our local community. So one of the things I found really powerful as an extension from the work I've been doing with my friends at school is working with Second Harvest Foodbank in San Mateo and in San Jose. And they really are an inspiring group of people there who devote their time to helping those who are hungry in our community. And the ability to work there has been really great, and I've had the opportunity to interact with lots of wonderful people who are like-minded and are inspiring. So moving on to our next slide here, this is Shai on her trip to Africa, as Darlene wonderfully mentioned earlier. So Shai is one of the many students we've had the option to hear from who have traveled abroad and seen travel firsthand, and that's really inspiring to make a change in our world. So this was in a Maasai community in Africa, and this was something that was really life-changing for her. You can see that these people obviously live in conditions that are really difficult, mud brick houses and a lack of education. So there's very difficult to grow food there. So it was a great opportunity for her to be able to interact with those in this community.
How long was she there?
She was there for a couple weeks, I think.
Wow.
So it was great. So moving on to our next slide. In addition to our work with Second Harvest Foodbank in the community, the organization Sleeping Bags for the Homeless is also based in San Jose, and they're a group that we interact with a lot. They have drives every month, and it's great to be able to see the progress that they're making alongside Travelers Fighting Hunger as groups who are committed to help fighting homelessness and hunger in our local community. So this is another one of our student travelers who was traveling within her own community to make a difference by donating sleeping bags to those in our community. So moving on to our next slide. We had the distinct pleasure of being at the Travel and Adventure Show
Yes.
earlier this year, and it was certainly a wonderful experience. We were able to meet so many lovely travelers who are passionate about making a change in our world.
And this was your first time.
This was, yes.
You're going to come back, right?
Definitely. We'll be there in the future and for years to come. So Travelers Fighting Hunger, this was really the major onset in which we were able to interact with a large part of the community and share our mission. So this was really...
And I understand you were very popular. I
We
did my
were.
homework and checked you out.
We did, yes. It was wonderful to meet you there. We had...
Good reports.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of press that was
We
around.
did. It was great. With so many wonderful people who are so passionate and committed to making this project successful. So moving on next. On our website, www.travelersfightinghunger.com, you can hear and read some more stories that I've shared today about our many travelers. And in addition to that, submit your own. So we really hope that you can visit us online and read more about what our mission is and how our stories are shaping the world today. So back to our stories working at Second Harvest Foodbank. One really special story that we've had the opportunity to work with was a group of individuals from the UPS service. And we learned that they go there once a month and they devote an entire morning to helping to package food. And it's really impressive. You can tell from their work as UPS workers, they're very efficient. And it was really great to be able to see all the work that they're doing in the community and interact with people who I haven't had the chance to interact in the past. We've worked with Mormon missionaries, and we've worked with these UPS workers and a whole bunch of other people who have been lovely to me. So moving on next. Rick Steves has really been a great supporter of Travelers Fighting Hunger. It was a pleasure to meet him at the Travel and Adventure Show this year and gain his support for our initiative. And he's really somebody who's been a role model to me, and his book, Travel as a Political Act, really was instrumental in shaping my interest in world travel in the first place.
He's a longtime speaker there, and he has his own show, that goes on and on and on, traveling everywhere. You watch the shows,
Of
right?
course, I
Of
love the
course.
shows.
And I've been on a couple of his tours. Yes, he's definitely a dynamite person there at the travel show. Did you get to hear his? You were
I
too
did,
busy.
yes. No,
Oh,
I
did you?
did have the opportunity.
Cool.
My booth was right
Cool.
next to where he was talking, which was great. So moving on to our next page. One of the other things that we've been really proud that we had the opportunity to work with is various universities of the country. And these are groups who are committed to helping those who are hungry in the United States. So this is a group of students who are at Yale and New Haven, Connecticut. And they go out into the community along with representatives of Travelers Fighting Hunger to go give wonderful advice about homeless shelters and to give food to those who are hungry in that area. And we've been able to interact with universities throughout the nation, and this has been something that we've just started recently. And in addition to that, it's been something we hope to grow in the future.
Yeah.
So moving on.
Is that it, or is that
I think
the
it
end?
is.
Okay, that's the end. Let's expand on that idea about how people can interact with your website. So I've read a few things on your website. People can report or show pictures. They can send them to you and say what they did. Is that it?
Yeah, it is. But we really are expanding it to be a lot more than that right now. One of the exciting things that we've been working on, in addition to our Inspiring Stories page, which can be found on the front page, as well as in its own separate link from our homepage, is lots of other wonderful interactive things in our community. We have a calendar of important and special events in our community that volunteers can go help with, and in addition to that, we're sharing stories of people around the world who are committed to helping those who are hungry through innovation. So those who may not have the opportunity to travel can still learn about both the horrible conditions really that many people who are hungry experience in the world, and at the same time, a lot of the things in the world that people are doing in order to improve the welfare of those who are hungry.
I think a lot of what you're doing also is trying to exchange ideas, and you're getting it from other colleges and input. Are they helping with this? Are you getting other universities to have programs and so forth that they can report on your website?
Definitely, we always are excited to hear back from those who are in our community and those around the nation who are students who are eager to make a difference in our world, as Travelers Fighting Hunger is really student run. So it's great to have all these role models. In addition to that, we find these stories really inspiring. How Travelers Fighting Hunger was created through inspiration. We hope to inspire others to make a difference.
I think this is the only website like that I'm familiar with.
It is. We
it?
really have a niche on the community. We're really happy.
So did you have to go through the legal channels to incorporate or anything yet, or will that be later?
Not yet. That probably will be later once we grow outside the Bay Area.
This is so new. This is so new.
Yes.
And I'm just fascinated with what you're doing. I'm a big fan of the travel show. Been there many times and heard many different speakers. And but I always like to see something fresh, something that's innovative, that's making something happen in the world, because we need help. So, so speaking of help, how can people help when they're traveling? What can they do?
When people are traveling, we really have this idea we call the Travelers Initiative. And this is this mnemonic, Travelers. It helps represent things that travelers can do during their travel experiences. We start with T, treating somebody to a drink or a meal, and listening to their story and interacting with them. We have R, registering for events in your local community or abroad in your travels, because lots of communities have lots of exciting events tailored to helping the hungry. E, advertising your events online at travelersfightinghunger.com. We have lots of wonderful things, from sleeping bags to the homeless, as well as run walks in the Bay Area. And we hope to grow that to include events made by citizens who are eager to make a difference. V, volunteering with college programs or with other things in our community. E, educating yourself and your friends about important things related to world hunger. L, launching new programs or forms of technology that are catered to helping those who are hungry. E, equipping those who are in need, whether it be with information about homeless shelters in the area, places where they can get food, or giving them things that you no longer need, because everybody really needs resources and new materials. R, redistributing your old things, sports jerseys, sheets, instruments, and supplies to programs like Travelers for the Hunter will find people who need them. And finally, sharing your pictures and stories online in order to inspire other travelers.
Well, I was going to ask about that. I didn't see a page on your website where you have pictures that people have taken of what they've seen. You know, the people that you don't normally look at, the ones that are...
Definitely.
I didn't see that on your website. Are people sending in those yet? Because, I mean, I know on my travels, I've seen many pictures that would have been great to post on your website.
We certainly are welcoming all submissions, including those.
Yeah.
While we're starting to receive a steady trickle right now, and we're getting them posted as we speak, we're still in the process of uploading them to our website. And we look forward to getting photos on that and of many other travel experiences that people may have.
Yeah,
So
just
really
it means so much when you see pictures, more than what we can talk about. You know, seeing the pictures of people in need and hungry, and the children especially.
Picture is worth 1,000 words, of course.
And
really
even the cats. I saw some really desperate cats when I was in Italy, and it was just one village. Particularly, it's like, do they ever feed these cats? And the cats want to come home with me, and it's like, even things like that, they tell a story.
Very powerful experiences indeed.
Now, what about like your local travel or your really short vacations that people take? They call it vacation, and it can be pretty close to home. What about that type of thing? How can people help there?
We really think that travel is important, whether you're traveling abroad or locally within your own community. And we think that even if you're on a short vacation, or if you're staying in your own community, there's many ways which you can help. In addition to the things that we list in our Travelers Initiative, one can work in local food banks for a few hours, or they can work alongside groups such as City Teen and Sleeping Bags for the Homeless, who are really important and do lots of wonderful work in our community and outside our community.
Yeah, they do.
In addition to that, expanding upon if one's going on a short vacation, it only takes 15 minutes, and we really think that just a little bit of time is powerful. So if one can spare 15 minutes of their day to helping the hungry, it really can make a difference. So this is something we're really
I'd like to
about.
mention an artist that I had on the show, years ago. I don't remember. Margie Reid. I was so impressed with her because she's an artist, I'm an artist. Okay, donating 10%, that's nice. She donates 100%.
Oh, wow.
Now, I had her on the show. She painted my portrait on a gourd. And then she asked me, well, which charity do you want to send it to? And I really didn't know. She listed a whole bunch. And I recognized UNICEF, which meant something to me. So I picked UNICEF. But she donates 100%. And not only that, but the person that buys the art gets a receipt. So everybody's happy. They get a receipt, they get acknowledgement from their donation. So, you know, the person that buys the art, plus of course the artist, and she does this kind of, you would say, at home, except she's a big hiker. So wherever she hikes, she's always doing art, and I get to see all of her beautiful art, and she sells them like hotcakes, but it's 100% donated.
She sounds like
charity.
She sounds like an incredible artist, and her work is really important in our community in order to give back to all these people who, at organizations such as UNICEF and other places where you can donate, are really valuable to making our community a success. She has a whole
bunch of ideas, you know. I mean, I was kind of like blank. I couldn't think, but she just has a whole bunch because she's been doing it for long time now. But that's an idea that I think is worth mentioning. I don't know if you'd like to add her.
I would love to. That sounds like a wonderful story.
But it's personal. You know, it's somebody that's at home. She's not connected with anything, just an artist. But that shows what you can do with just a little effort. And she told me when she was on my show, she said, I have a good job. My husband has a good job. She goes, I don't need the money. And I've never heard that from an artist. You know, it's like 10%. I give 10%, but 100%. And she's been doing it for years.
It's astonishing.
And so that's why her art sells like crazy, because, you know, she's so prolific too. But that's just one way. So
that's wonderful.
Where would you like to travel down the line? Is there any place that you want to travel yourself to see?
You know, that's a wonderful question. I really enjoy traveling. I hope to travel everywhere in the world someday. Right now, I'm really fascinated by European history, so it would be wonderful to be able to go to some of Europe's great cities, particularly in Central Europe, Berlin and Munich. And Prague and Vienna would be wonderful to have the opportunity to see sometime in the near future. And then while I'm there, I hope to be able to give back to those in the community who are struggling financially, who are socioeconomically disadvantaged, to hope to give them food to spread our message of Travelers Finding Hunger abroad to those nations.
So what do you project for the future, like say your goals here and your mission 7 to 10 years from now? What do you
7 to 10 years, wow. I think that Travelers Finding Hunger has the ability and the capacity to go beyond barriers and to spread nationwide and hopefully worldwide as well. From our roots in the Silicon Valley, in the Bay Area, and such a wonderful place with great technology, and to be able to spread all of the ideas and wonderful stories that people have both locally and globally. And we hope that we can educate people around the world to be men and women for and with others and citizens of the world. And in this manner, we hope that not only can we grow, but can we inspire and foster a love for travel and a love for helping others in our global community.
I see a lot for you in the future. I see you writing books,
Thank
documentaries, all kinds of stuff coming on, because you're really, really young, and you've tapped onto something. People travel's a big deal. And you've tapped into something really, really great.
Oh,
so I want to thank you so much for being here. I love what you're doing. Please keep me in touch what you're doing, because I really love what you're doing.
Of course.
So I want to thank you for being here.
Oh,
And for
thank you
people
for
out
having
there
me.
watching the show, I want to tell you to please, when you're out there looking at the sights, look with your heart, not just your eyes, because there's so much to see out there. You might want to find out, what can you do to help? Good message? Yeah? Any
Thank
other
you.
message you'd like to add?
Well, thank you very much for your time. We hope we can see you online at www.travelersfindhunger.com if you would seek more information. And thank you very much, Darlene, for having me on the show. It was a pleasure to be here.
Well, thanks for watching, and yes, check the website, because it's always changing. You never know what's going to happen in a month from now. I expect it to be quite different. More. Thanks for watching the show, and watch again. So I think you did very, very well. You had so many notes here.
Well, thank you.